so let's go back a bit.
Okay.
So
Jeez. I'm going back in time.
hey guys, I'm Shayna.
And I'm Neff.
And welcome to But a Livin'. So this is our first video.
It is.
Yeah.
Alright. So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
This channel is called But a Livin'. And the reason that it's called But a Livin' is because we live full time in our 32-foot Class C RV that we call Butta for two reasons.
Two reasons. One being that she drives the complete opposite. Like when you think of smooth like butter, she's like the complete opposite of that, right? And the second reason is also just her coloring. On the outside, she's like this beige brownish color that kind of reminds us of butter, to be quite honest. So,
for sure,
that's the story.
That is the story. We have been living in this rig since May of 2021.
Yeah, the end of May. Yeah.
So 6 months. And so far, I think we have driven about 7,000 miles. So we've gone across the country. We've been all the way down south in Florida. We've gone as far north as Chicago, which is where we started this journey. So lots and lots of places that we've been thus far. And we're really looking forward to sharing our journeys from here on out with y'all so that you can see some of the places that we go and some of the things that we do.
Okay, so let's go back a bit.
Okay.
So...
Jeez. I'm going back in time.
Got it. We got it. Prior to making the decision to full-time in an RV, we had just bought a condo, maybe 3 or 4 months before coming to the decision that we wanted to travel full-time. So we had this like brand new condo. Like, I mean,
hold on, pause. It was not brand new.
Well, the condo itself wasn't brand new. It was brand new to us.
Yes. I just want to set the stage because I don't want people to think that we were out here flexing in this really nice condo.
It was a nice condo.
It was. We lived in Chicago, so if there are any Chicagoans, let us know if you know what we're talking about in the comments.
Yeah, but I suppose we can let you know like what neighborhood we were in too. We were in Lakeview, like Lincoln Park. Like it was a nice condo. It was a nice condo,
but it was built like 120 years ago. So I just don't want to give anybody the connotation that this thing was brand new because it was anything but. But it had lots and lots of character. All right. So interjection over. We were in our condo.
Got it. Now I've forgotten everything that I was going to say. Yeah, so we were in our condo for maybe about 3 or 4 months. I came home from work one day and Neff was like, hey, do you want to move into an RV? And I just remember thinking like, huh? Like where's this coming from? Like, I guess it wasn't like crazy out of the blue because you brought it up a couple years prior. And I was like, absolutely not. But I guess with everything happening with, you know, the C word and all of that, right?
With the panorama.
With the, sure. With everything going on, I think it was just like the perfect time.
Yeah, it was. And I guess to give a little bit of context, at that time, my mom was thinking a whole lot about RVing. And she's actually converting a bus right now. We're going to have to show that to y'all in a future video so that you can see kind of the difference between like us, where we bought an RV and basically just drove it. It was already an RV. And her kind of converting this MCI bus into this dream rig for her.
Oh, but that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I digress. That's coming up when it's finished. It literally is happening right now, so we can't show y'all yet, but we will.
Yeah.
But having these conversations with my mom and thinking about travel and all of the different ways that we can enhance our experiences felt so cool. Especially because I think when we started to have this conversation...
Is that what made you think about it?
Yeah.
Oh.
right? So we're learning things about each other as we're telling you. So having this conversation with my mom, who lives in Florida and was hanging out in the sun, and we're in the dead of winter in Chicago. Our only outdoor space is this balcony, which I think at that point literally
covered in snow.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And covered in snow. And it's like, dang, there has to be a better way, especially as I'm working from home and all of these things. So it's like, what really is tying us to Chicago, but not necessarily just Chicago? Like, what is tying us to one specific location? And like everybody else, first thing we do, right? Like, so I start talking to her, and then I'm like, yo, like, let's start to like watch some YouTube videos of different creators to see what this thing is like. Yeah. What you see on YouTube is not real life, right? Is that true?
For the most part.
We're gonna try to not make that true of this channel, but
for the most part. I think within this like RV community, I think some people have done a decent job of like, you know, exposing the like not so fun parts.
That's true.
Which we've definitely experienced. So we'll get into that in another video. But
yeah. But I did want to call out, right, that I'm seeing this romanticized experience of RVing. And that's not to say that we don't love it. Like, we're gonna talk about that, like, all the nitty gritty, like things we love, things we hate, things in between. But all of that kind of together of like this experience being in the middle of the pandemic and having this conversation with my mom, we're like, okay, cool, like, let's get out there. And I think, how long was it between that conversation that like initially you started to actually think about it and us actually like leaving Michigan with this RV?
We moved quick.
We did.
We moved really quick. I remember that day that you asked me like, hey, do you want to live in an RV full time? I think maybe a day or two after that, we called our realtor. And I mean, he moved quick. And we got that condo sold in about a week.
Right.
So things moved really, really quickly. I'm not sure of the like exact date.
Right. And like we went through closing and all of that. So we maybe had about, I want to say it was like, we did a 45-day closing or so.
Yeah.
So there was some time between like the offer being accepted on our condo and us actually moving out, but not a ton of time, considering that we were not just moving from one Sticks and Bricks location to another Sticks and Bricks location.
Right.
We were figuring out RVing and doing that initial trip planning. And the other kicker is like, when we moved into this RV, how many times had you actually been in an RV before this?
Are we talking like before bringing up like RVing? In general,
so,
or like,
so we're not going to count things
before we step foot into Butter.
Right. So we're not going to count things that we saw during our buying process. So like when we were touring rigs, and we're going to do a video on that. So stay tuned. But not the buying process. Okay. But
so then zero.
Right. Zero. So we both like, neither one of us had RV'd as kids. I don't even think either one of us had tent camped as kids.
No.
So we were like literally like, what's a black tank? Trying to like watch these like educational videos and understanding all of those things.
What's a black tank?
Yeah. It is not that bad.
That's what it is.
It is not. Shayna does not regularly empty the black tank, so please disregard her opinion on this subject. So that's the thing, right? So we're in this rig. Hadn't really spent a lot of time RVing prior to this. So that's our experience. We're kind of starting this new journey. So for like the first 6 or 7 months, we knew that we wanted to be able to share our journey, especially as folks who are relatively young. A lot of times you see in traditional RVs people who get a chance to do that when they're a little bit older in life. So
did we mention how old we were?
I don't think we did.
Okay, so I guess I'll share. Do you want to share?
I'll let you share first.
Okay, I'm 26.
And I am 27, I believe.
Yes.
I'm 27. Shayna knows for sure. But yeah, so like that, we wanted to share that experience, right? Of like, what is it like to live in a traditional RV at our age? And I think we get a lot of folks who are our age who are living in some dope van conversions.
Yeah.
But I could not get Shayna to go for that. She wanted more space.
Sorry.
Or sometimes we get people who are RVing and they're with their families and we don't have any kids. Right. We do have one puppy who is probably going to be the main character of this channel.
We should call her Stella.
She said no.
Yeah, she's...
but that's a different experience to do it with families. And we love some of those content creators who are sharing that particular portion of being.
And then you have the retired folks who are empty nesters,
right?
Who are traveling the world in their... Normally I see Class A's, but we can talk about that another time.
For sure. But here's the point. We have spent the last 6 months basically just getting our bearings, like understanding how we live in this space, how we work in this space, understanding how we travel and all of that jazz.
How we maintain a relationship in this space.
That's true.
Yeah.
All of these are probably going to be video topics that are coming at you soon. But now we're finally in the place where I'm not going to say we have a handle on things.
I think we're still trying to find our groove.
We are, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're finally ready to start to document things and document and share it. So I'm real excited that y'all are along on this journey with Shayna, myself, and this RV butter. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I think that's what the YouTubers say.
Yeah, all the YouTube things. We don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because we're real jacked to build a community here. And to share the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next video.
All right. See y'all.